Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Rev here. And I wanted to try out this new series. I don't really know how well to go over, but it's something that I have noticed. I haven't noticed, actually, YouTubers doing this. It's something that is going to be more relatable. The way I feel about it is I just don't want to be a voice behind some gameplay. I don't want to just, be gameplay voice. I want to be relatable. I want to be, somebody to relate to. And the only way to do that is to do kind of things like this. And I kind of want to do these once a week. I was thinking about calling them Rev Talks, um, simply because they're going to be real talks, but just play on words to make it more original to me. Rev Talks. It'll always have a story about me, a story or something that I'm going through or have went through, and hopefully I'll be able to give a lesson, a life lesson in a sense, to you guys as you watch it. Um, I apologize in advance for the crappy mic quality. I was going to wait until I actually got a headset to record these kinds of videos, but it's just been, I've had something on my mind that I wanted to talk about. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and start with Rev Talks episode number 1. So, a friend of mine, he was a really good friend of mine. He was in 2 of my classes my sophomore year of high school. I'm a senior this year, so we're talking 2 years ago. He was in my carpentry class and my geometry class my sophomore year. He was a year older than me, so he was supposed to be a junior at the time, but he was a sophomore, and his name was Matt. And he was like I said, he's a real good buddy of mine. We had 2 classes together. We always had lunch together. And and a funny story that I have that I've been thinking a lot about Matt uh, was we were in lunch one day, and we all sat down with our lunches, and we just had a new vice principal. He became a new vice principal. He was a teacher, nice vice principal, so he's new to this, right? This is October of sophomore year, so he's brand new at being vice principal. And we're sitting down, and we're outside on our patio area at our school. And the first thing Matt always did was he would get his strawberry milk and he would chug it. He'd get 2, and he would chug one of them right before he ate his lunch. And then he would eat his lunch, and then he would chug the last one after his lunch. It was just what he always did. Well, this day, we all sit down and we all start eating our lunches. Probably just the same thing we have for lunch every single day. And Matt opens his milk and takes one big gulp, doesn't swallow it, and spits it out onto his tray. And I kid you not, this milk was the consistency of yogurt. It wasn't. The milk had gone sour. It went bad. Okay, and it was literally like the consistency of yogurt. It was real thick, and when he poured it out on the ground, because remind me, we're outside, so after he spit it out in his tray, and everyone got a good look at it, and they're like, "That's disgusting. We're not gonna drink our milk now." And when he poured it out on the ground, it didn't do what you'd expect milk or water to do. It didn't flow and run. It was creeping on the pavement towards the low spot. Um, and so this was just disgusting. And the date on the bottle ended up being 2 or 3 weeks past. That date. It had went bad early September, and this was October here. And so it was pretty, that slipped past a few people over a period of time that it was expired. And why it was still on the shelf to sell to students was announced to us, but it was, and Matt got it, and he did not enjoy it. Um, and so after we poured it out on the ground, the new vice principal just thought we were just, being immature kids and just dumping our food everywhere, and came over to tell us stop making such a mess. So as he began to yell at us, Matt stopped him and said, "Trust me, there was a very good reason." He said, "Look at the bottle. Look at the bottle. Just look at the date." And he reads it, and you can see multiple expressions come over his face at once. The first one, he apologized for yelling at us, first of all. Yeah.
You talk to somebody?
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Okay.
How about need something done here?
Okay. he first apologized to us, and after he apologized to us for thinking we were just being hooligans and pouring our milks out everywhere because nobody wanted to drink theirs, everyone was testing to make sure that their milk was okay. He then was astonished that this milk was almost a month bad. It had been bad for a while, and like when he saw it on the ground, and it was still, mind you, it was still creeping. It wasn't like it went to that low spot and it was gone. It was still, slowly creeping on. Like, can you imagine? Have you ever seen lava flow? If you've seen videos of lava flowing, that's about how fast it was going versus like a waterfall. It, it was awful. And luckily, that was the only bad milk at the table. No one else's milk was bad, but just the look on his face, he was just, this is just not right. Like, we cannot have this, like, and everyone's like, well, I mean, our milks are old too. Like, they're not like 3 weeks old, but they're like, mine expired yesterday, mine expires tomorrow. And so the school had apparently a large problem of they just didn't have milk, and so it was just that poor man that we did to him, that first, like, his first like month on the job as being vice principal. It was just I kind of felt bad about it because he probably thought like he was just trying to catch us being hooligans or whatnot. But yeah, I just remember that story about Matt. He just a look on his face when he spit his milk out, and he was just he was just everyone was grossed out. In our carpentry class, we'd always mess around. We took when Matt went out into the lab to talk to the teacher. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but we turtled his book bag, which is you take everything out of it and you turn it inside out, you put everything back inside of it, and then you zip it up. Well, on top of turtling it, we also pushed aside one of the ceiling tiles and put the book bag in the ceiling, and closed the ceiling tile. And so when the bell rang, time to go to next class, Matt was still looking for his book bag. Um, and finally someone told him it was in the ceiling, so he had to get on the table like we had to and get into the ceiling. And when he got his book bag, it was turtled. So he was even mad about that because, if you imagine you're turtled, the zippers are on the inside, so it's very difficult to get it unzipped, to turn it back right side out, and put everything back together. So he was late for next class, and it was just fun. It was just good times. I always had good times with him in the classes. My geometry class, I still remember like helping him on his quizzes and tests in geometry because he was just as bad as I was. But this is my second time taking geometry because I failed it my freshman year, so I was taking it again. I would help him with his homework, all that stuff. But that was enough storytelling. But well, what I really wanted to get to, that's really been on my mind here lately. That kind of pertains more to what this series is going to be about. Um, it's a little difficult to talk about. Um, on December 8th, 2015, Matt committed suicide. Um, so it's been almost 2 months. I haven't really talked about it as much as I should have. Um, when I first found out, my mom called me upstairs, and I said, "No, what's up? What's?" And she said, "Did you know? Did you know a Matt? Did you know a Matt? It says last name. I won't say it." Um, and I said, "Yeah." So we're pretty good buddies, but I haven't seen him since last year. He dropped. I guess he dropped out. He didn't come back to school for his senior year. He wasn't at school, and she said, "Well, I just want to let you know that he committed suicide." And that hit me like a brick wall. Uh, it was tough. It was definitely tough. It still is tough. Um, to find out that really good friend of yours that you were pretty good buddies with just gone. Um, and we didn't have any classes together our junior year, but we were still good buddies. Every time we saw each other in the hallway, he goes, "Oh, hey Jakey Poon," he'd go to me, and he'd shake my hand and whatnot. You know, we had a lot of same friends. Um, He was one of these guys that he would just lighten up a room, no matter where he went. He had a great sense of humor. He's always cracking jokes. I don't think a day went by where I didn't hear one of his jokes, and it was a different one each day. That he was funny. They were good jokes too. Nah, I don't know how many of you have went through losing someone like that. The difference being, not losing someone, you know, to like death, to like a sickness, or just getting old, but to just suddenly cease to exist, death. It's tough. When I heard that he had committed suicide that night, I heard about it that night. I just didn't say anything. I said, wow. I looked at my mom, and the only thing I said was, wow. And I just went downstairs. I couldn't say anything else. I just went back downstairs, and I just sat there and cried. I cried a lot, thinking about the last time I saw him. And, all the great times we had together. See, I wanted to do this because it helps you all to get to know me more versus just to me playing video games and talking about random stuff. It definitely, it surprises me that more YouTubers don't do something like this, where the viewers should get to know the YouTuber. You know, I guess the lesson that you can take away from this is just, cherish the moments with everyone, no matter how big or small. They might seem very insignificant at the time, like that milk story. But when that person's gone, that might be the only significant thing you remember. So, the lesson being, cherish the time with the people you got. Don't take it for granted. And if you're going through something like Matt was, get help. Uh, his death affected a lot of people. Everybody knew him. Everybody. Not everybody liked him, but everybody knew him. Everybody knew who Matt was. When you said his name, there wasn't, oh, do you know him? No, it was, oh, I know Matt, before you even had to ask. And I don't think anybody's ever going to forget him. I know I won't. Yo. Alright, guys. I guess that just about wraps it up. If you made this far in the video, I know it's kind of long. Thank you. Means a lot. Sorry this one was a little bit on the sad side. Just been something I had on my mind lately. Been thinking about Matt a lot, and just wanted to talk about it. I definitely want to keep doing these. Just, they won't always be sad, they won't always be happy. Sometimes they just might seem plain stupid, but the point of this is hopefully you'll learn something You'll take a lesson from these videos. You'll learn more about me. You'll learn to like me more through the stories you learn, um, and you'll get to know me as a person and not just a YouTuber. I hope that hopefully somebody took something from this. And I do apologize for making it a sad story, but when it's just what's been on my mind, and I had to get it off my mind. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on all the good things that are happening to this channel, and I will certainly continue to be a nerd and just play video games for you guys. But I'll let you guys know what's happening for this channel and big things that are hopefully going to be happening with me soon. And for those of you who don't know, my birthday is next Tuesday. So I don't know if I will be uploading that day or the Wednesday after that. But obviously you can understand why, because it is going to be my 18th birthday, so I do not know what I will be doing or what I have plans for. But hopefully you understand and you don't get too upset if I don't upload. But I think that's just going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. And thanks for watching the video, and hope you guys have a great night. Peace.